Good morning, students. So, today we are going to learn a new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Lines and Angles. So, in this chapter, Lines and Angles, what are the main points which we are going to discuss? The first one is introduction, angles in daily life, basic terms and definitions, points, intersecting lines, and non-intersecting lines, perpendicular lines, angles, parallel lines, and a transversal. So, introduction. In maths, geometry, the lines and angles are important tools. So, line and angle are very important tools in geometry. If any object in ideal, that is called as line, and it is represented as straight curve. So, we see different types of angles in our day-to-day life. So if we look around us, we will see angles everywhere. For example, this fish. The mouth of this fish also is in the shape of an angle. Aeroplane. Have you seen the tail? It is also in the shape of an angle. Scissor. This is also in the shape of an angle. Basic terms and definitions. So what is a line? So the definition of a line is a straight path extending in both directions with no endpoints. So a straight path. So you can see it's a straight path which can be extended in both directions. Means if we want, we can make it as much long, both in this side also and in the other side also. So a straight path extending in both directions with no endpoints. With no endpoints means it doesn't have any endpoint. So no endpoint, and it can be extended in both directions. Okay, that is called as the line. Line segment, a part of a line that includes 2 points called endpoints and all the points between them. So if I take a part of this line, that part we call as a line segment, and it has two endpoints. Okay, next one is ray, a part of a line with one endpoint that continues without end in one direction. So a part of a line with one endpoint, it has one endpoint, whereas the other point it continues without any end. So one endpoint and one no endpoint. Now points. Point, if I ask you what is point, we have to say is exact location. You can see here exact point or location. You can see we have so many points: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Intersecting lines and non-intersecting lines. So intersecting lines means lines that cross. So you can see these two lines cross. So if any lines cross each other, 2 or 3 lines, that lines are called as intersecting lines. The converse is non-intersecting lines, lines that never cross and are always the same distance apart. So the lines which never cross and are always the same distance means they will never cross, okay, and they are at the same distance. So those lines are called as Non-intersecting lines. Examples of non-intersecting lines. Hardwood floor. You can see this floor, these lines. They will never intersect. Opposite sides of windows or desk. So opposite sides of windows or desk also are non-intersecting lines. Parking slots in parking lot, you can see parking slot. This line also will never intersect. Parallel parking, streets. So let's remember which are parallel, or we can say which will never intersect. Those are called as non-intersecting lines, and they have equal distance between them. Perpendicular lines. Two lines that intersect to form four right angles. So two lines that intersect. So one line and the other line. So two lines that intersect to form four angles. So if two lines intersect such that four angles are formed, or you can say four right angles are formed, so such lines are called as perpendicular lines. Example of perpendicular lines: window panels, street of cities, like this one you can see one line, and this one is four right angles there, 1 2 3 4. So such type are called perpendicular lines. Now angle. So we will learn what is an angle and how many types of angles are there. In geometry, an angle is the figure formed by two rays sharing a common endpoint called the vertex of the angle. So what is an angle? When two rays join at a point, or you can say join at a common point, endpoint, which is called as the vertex, then an angle is formed. The magnitude of the angle is the amount of rotation that separates the two rays. So the angle rotation is called as the magnitude. Okay, now types of angle we'll see: acute angle, right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, adjacent angle, linear pair of angles, and vertically opposite angles. So acute angles, I will just revise quickly. An angle whose value is, or whose measure is between 0 and 90 is called acute. You can see here 18 degree, 45, 33, 88, 22.5, 7. So such angles whose value is between 0 and 90, that is called as the acute angle. You can see acute angle. This is also acute. Okay. Right angle, an angle whose value is or measure is 90 degree is called as right angle. So some examples, this one. Okay, these all are right angles. Obtuse angle, an angle whose measure is between, or you can say more than 90 degree but less than 180. So such angles are called as obtuse angles. So you can say 135, 93, 174, 110, 157, etc. So these are some of the obtuse angles. Okay. Straight angle, and a straight angle changes the direction to point the opposite way. It looks like a straight line. It measures 180 degree half a revolution or two right angles. So if we add angles and it make a straight line, so that is called as a straight angle, and the measure is 180 degree. Or we can say two right angles make a straight angle. So this is another example of straight angle. Reflex angle, an angle which is more than 180 but less than 360. So any angle which is between 180 and 360, such angles are called as the reflex angles, like 266, 230, 242, 197, 237, etc.